and gentlemen, boys and girls, professional procrastinators and sincere students, welcome. You're watching Next IAS English, where we don't just follow the news, we break it down, connect the dots and ask the questions that matter. Today's spotlight is on a recurring crisis that affects millions across India every single year. Floods. This time it's Chamoli in Uttarakhand under a severe red alert. But what's happening there is not just a local emergency, it's a part of a national pattern. So let's take a closer look, not just at what's happening, but why it keeps happening and what India must do differently, urgently. Let's look at the Chamoli flood red alert, a national pattern first. Chamoli is under red alert after days of relentless rain. Schools have shut, rivers are swelling and evacuations are on the way. But this is not just breaking news. This is a monsoon tragedy we've seen too many times before. From Assam to Mumbai, from Bihar to Kerala, flooding has become so routine it's almost accepted. But should it be? Let's not just report the rain. Let's investigate the storm beneath the headlines. Now let's talk about the breaking news. In Chamoli, the situation is definitely serious. Rescue teams are on standby, schools are closed, family in low-lying areas are being evacuated, yet for locals, this is becoming a yearly ritual. As one elderly resident said, we no longer ask if it will happen, we only ask how bad it will happen this time. These words reflect a sad truth. In flood-prone areas, people aren't just afraid of the water, they're afraid of being forgotten. Now let's talk about what these flood alerts are. So what does a red alert actually mean? Simply put, it's not a warning. It's a crisis signal. The IMD uses 4 colors: green, yellow, orange and red. Green means all clear, yellow means caution, orange means get ready, but red means act now. Delay could mean disaster. Think of red alert as the last call before chaos. लाल alert का मतलब है सिर्फ चेतावनी नहीं, तुरंत तैयारी जरूरी है. Now let's talk about India's flood geography. Floods aren't random. They follow a geographic script across India. In Assam, the Brahmaputra floods every monsoon. In Bihar, rivers like Kosi, the sorrow of Bihar, overflow regularly. Kerala saw back-to-back floods in 2018-2019 that displayed slacks. In Mumbai, one heavy downpour turns road into rivers. This isn't bad luck. This is bad planning, repeated year after year. What's worse, we know it's coming and we still do too little. Now let's talk about why these floods are getting worse. Climate change is making things worse, yes, but it's not only the villain. We are cutting forests, choking rivers, building on wetlands and dumping concrete where water once flowed freely. Floodplains are being turned into parking lots. Natural drainage channels are buried under buildings. Now take Gurgaon for example. Once a city of lakes, now floods after half an hour of rain becomes chaotic. This isn't just mismanagement, it's planning in denial. And the most impacted human beings. Floods are not just about water, they are about lives, livelihood and long-term trauma. In 2022 alone, over 1,700 people died in flood-related incidents. Millions were displaced. Children missed schools. Farmers lost crops, daily wage workers lost months of income. In Assam, a young boy said, I know how to swim, but I don't know where to go. That line tells you everything. Floods don't just drown cities, they drown futures. Now let's talk about a case study, Chamoli and the Himalayas. Chamoli is part of the fragile Himalayan ecosystem where the risks are even greater. In 2021, a glacier burst triggered a flash flood that destroyed the Rishi Ganga power plant and killed over 200 people. Scientists call it a climate-triggered disaster, worsened by unregulated construction. In a geologically sensitive area. The Himalayas are not just mountains, they are barometer of climate change and we are definitely ignoring the signs. Now let's talk about the institutions and their policies. India has institutions like NDMA, NDRF, IMD and many state disaster plans. Forecasts are improving, but the real challenge isn't technology, it's action. In some cases, flood warnings reach the villages after the river has already breached the banks. Early warning systems are useless if they don't translate into early response. In disaster management, every second counts, and right now, we are definitely running late. Now let's talk about what the world teaches us. Let's talk about the global lessons. Other countries have shown us how to live with floods. The Netherlands built giant seawalls and pumped to protect land below sea level. Then Japan has built underground water highways beneath Tokyo, and even Bangladesh, with far fewer resources, has created community-based shelters and warning systems that save thousands. So the issue isn't money, it's priority. If they can do it, why can't we? Now let's talk about India's way forward. India needs a shift not just in policy but in mindset, from reaction to resilience. Instead of spending crores on relief, we need to invest in prevention, better drainage, protected wetlands, embankments that actually hold, and urban planning that respects nature. Construction on floodplains must stop. Climate resilient infrastructure must start. The question isn't whether we can afford to prepare. The question is, can we afford not to? Now, let's talk about the bigger question. Let's be honest. Floods are not just a force of nature. They are a result of years of human neglect. A disaster becomes deadly not because of the rain, but because of the way we build, plan, and ignore. One flood survivor in Bihar said, हम तो पानी के साथ बह जाते हैं, लेकिन आपकी याददाश्त सूख जाती है. Translation: we get swept away with the water, but your memory dries up. We cannot let short-term memory create long-term disasters, can we? The next flood is already forming, but are we ready is the real question. Now let's talk about the conclusion. Today, Chamoli is in crisis, but the truth is the flood waters are rising everywhere, in our cities, in our climate models, and in our blind spots. Floods are no longer just about weather. They are a test of our systems, our priorities, and our willpower. The question isn't just when the next flood will hit. The real question is, when will we finally decide to stop letting it wash us away? Because we can't stop the rain, but we can choose to stop the disaster. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here with us and watching Next IAS English. If this story helped you understand the deeper dimensions of India's flood crisis, do share it with others. Let's not just be informed citizens. Let's be aware, alert, and accountable. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next deep dive. That's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.